This is what he said back. It's awesome. He said, yeah, he's using Coinbase, period. WTF is your point? Bing boing, diddy doinger, question mark. I don't know why he said that, but it made me laugh. So I had to respond back by saying, lol, you got me. I don't really have a point. I'm just not a fan of BlockFi. Bing boing, diddy doinger. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Why Bitcoin podcast, the podcast where we question everything, but mainly, why Bitcoin? My name's Jeff, and I'm one of your hosts, and, oh man, I had one, and then I forgot one. Oh yeah, my fun thing of the day is I'm part of Weird Bitcoin Twitter, and that's a badge of honor I wear proudly. I'll tell you later about who said it. It made me so happy. Who am I here with today?
My name is Doug. And I like Bitcoin. And my fun fact is I came to the realization that we are not that far away from a full adoption. And it is incumbent upon all of us to go out and get grandma and grandpa into Bitcoin this week. Go do it. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, I saw that you tweeted that. I even have opinions on that. Oh man, you're kind of you're in a space where I was, where I'm like, oh shit, this is about to happen tomorrow. It's a weird space to be in, eh?
Not tomorrow, but I would say, just what do you think? By end of year, right? End of year, we'll have.
That's what I thought too, and I'm starting to push back now. I'm like, oh, maybe we're earlier, and there is a lot to be. Maybe we're like, I go from being like, oh my god, I'm dead at the end to, oh, I'm kind of early to, oh, we're still very early to, oh, maybe we're not. I don't know, man. It could go anywhere. This year is going to be really, really crazy. This month alone has been pretty nuts.
Yeah, it has been. Lots of unexpected ups and downs this month so far. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we'll get into all that. If you guys want to find us, we are on YouTube. Just search Why Bitcoin, and if you search the by channel, you'll have an easier time finding us because we're still just little guys in this space. So go to search by channel and put in Why Bitcoin, and you'll find us there. We're also on Spotify and anywhere else you can find podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, or I think there's a name for
Google
Apple
Podcasts and
Google
Breaker
Podcasts,
and
Breaker, all that good stuff.
I think it's just called. Yeah, I don't know what that space is called, honestly. We're everywhere. You can find us. So, I mean, here you are. You've already found us. So
you found us. Hey, you can also find us on Twitter. And I'm going to plug my own Twitter just because I've kind of been using it more. So if you want to find me personally, I'm at 7footfiend. It's my old Twitch handle. If you want to find us on Twitter, we are at @whybitcoin_. Do you want to plug your own Twitter, or do you not use your own Twitter?
Sure, you can find me at my old Twitter. It's at Papa Baron. I probably should change that. It's probably a little outdated, but anyways.
Well, it's your old.
How you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing good. Oh, just one more thing. If you guys want to send us any questions or comments, concerns, askwhybitcoin@gmail.com. That's our email. And yeah, I'm doing. Sorry, I had to squeeze it in. I know
that's fine. That's fine. You got to do the housekeeping. You
love housekeeping, and I feel like we're
really
nailing it.
Every time.
Yeah, every time. I'm doing good tonight. I'm doing good. How are you doing tonight? Did you have a good week?
I'm doing good actually. I'm coming off of a pretty rough weekend. Got pretty sick. So.
Oh no. Well, I'm glad that you're feeling better. You don't sound sick. You don't look sick
from
where I can see you anyways. He's laughing because I can't see him. We don't have access to video chat yet.
No, we're old school, baby.
We're old school, baby. Hey, is anything you were going to say tonight financial advice?
Not a little bit. Not even one thing.
Not even a little bit. Okay, I'm also not going to say any financial advice. Anything we say is not financial advice. We're just, we might as well just be two dudes talking.
I think that's what we are, my friend. I think that's what we are.
Yeah,
two dudes talking,
and we tell everybody to do their own research. Don't listen to us. Well, I mean, listen to us multiple times, but don't listen. Don't take our word for knowledge. Just go do your own research.
Agreed.
Nice. Okay, we crushed it. That was one of the best openings ever. Oh, you know what else I thought was exciting today?
Did you practice that? It felt like you practiced that in the mirror.
No, I have the list beside me. Oh no, I let
Oh.
the world know that there's a script.
Oh,
There's a little. It's a
ridiculous.
minor script. Minor. It's okay.
I couldn't even call it a script. You'd call it an outline more than anything else.
Yeah, it's an outline. You're right.
All right,
Um.
there you go.
Okay. Want to know why I'm excited about this podcast in particular?
Tell me why.
Because I couldn't tell you what episode it is without doing like a quick look up. I'm like, oh, we're in deep enough where I'm like, yeah, this is just another episode, and that makes me feel good. Doesn't it?
Yep. Yeah, I'm
Do you
excited.
feel the
about
same?
that. Yeah, kind of. I mean, I'm going to be excited for next week when we hit double digits officially.
Okay,
But
so
this-
we're
yeah.
9.
It's starting to feel. Yeah, I kind of knew that. Well, I mean, I edit them every week, so I kind of know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is starting to feel like a very regular rotation kind of a thing. So
Right on.
that's exciting,
Cool.
no doubt.
Okay, let's get into the good stuff. I have.
All right, let's do it.
I have. Hate. I don't know if this is hate, heartwarming, or I don't know what this is, but I'm very excited that I got a response. Okay. To let you guys know, the reason I pumped my own pimped, sent. The reason why I told.
Let's go with pumped. Pumped
Okay.
seems better.
The reason I pumped my personal Twitter is because I'm a bit of an asshole on there. I would consider myself a minor troll. When I started twitching, I was just like, I don't know, I can't really stand all this extra positivity. I'm more just about I'm all for people being trolls. As long as it's in a funny way. Like if you're trying to make somebody laugh, I'm all for it. If you hurt somebody's feelings a little bit, that's okay. If you're a complete asshole and you're trying to like destroy somebody because you're sad, that's a different thing. But being a little bit of a dick, I think that's fine. That's one of the reasons the internet exists. So I do it. Do you ever do it?
No, I don't. I don't have a problem with it, but I don't really.
You're
I don't.
never
I don't
a dick
generally.
online?
Well, maybe sometimes there are some.
But are you a
folks
dick
where
in
I
your
just
real
can't help
life?
myself, but no,
No?
I try not to be.
Okay. I've always been told that I'm a
No,
very
I'm much more likely to just walk away from someone than to actually do anything towards them.
Okay. Yeah, we probably wouldn't be good friends. I think I would probably get under your skin. I've been told I'm very passive aggressive and also sarcastic. It's a good combination of things to be. So the reason I bring that
I have to admit I have a hard time reading you sometimes. So I've had to learn to give you a little space between or during conversations so that I can figure out, should I be mad at this right now, or is he gonna pull this out of the fire? That's kind of.
Sometimes I'll just.
But anyways, go on.
I'll
Go
throw
on.
something out there. Okay, so Jason A. Williams is the author of a book called Bitcoin: Hard Money You Can't. It's Hard Money You Can't F With. Great book. I've been looking for it. I have a few stories, so I'm just gonna tell a few stories from this week. I went to the bookstore asking. My wife was looking for a book, and so I went to the front desk. I was like, "Hey, do you have this book or this book?" And the guy's like, "No." And then I said, "Has anybody even asked about them?" And he's like, "No, I have no idea what you're talking about." And they were all these like really well-known Bitcoin books, which is why when you said that it's all gonna just come like a landslide this year, I'm like, no, man, like nobody even knows about these really, really important books that you should get. Anyway, so Jason A. Williams is the writer of one of them. And he loves BlockFi. You know what BlockFi is, right?
I use BlockFi.
You use BlockFi. Okay, so I'm against BlockFi because I'm an asshole like that. And Jason's always pumping BlockFi, so he tweeted something out about...
Should we explain what it is and why you hate it?
Sure, we can talk about BlockFi really quick. Do you want to explain
Okay.
it?
Sure. Long story short, BlockFi is how a bank should operate. You put your money into it, you get a return on your money. Current day actual fiat currency banks, they don't operate like that anymore. You don't get a return. It's based on how much crypto you put in, and there's like 6 or 7 different cryptos they accept. And they return it to you in that denomination. So what they do is they'll take your Bitcoin, and then they loan out, I guess they make cash loans, and then they take interest on that, and then they return your interest in Bitcoin, not in cash. It The interest compounds daily, and then it's paid out monthly. So I'm not quite sure why you wouldn't like that. Why is that?
Why I don't like it? Okay, so the one of the main ideologies behind Bitcoin is to hold your keys. If you're not holding your keys, it's like, yeah, I mean, in the sense that BlockFi is a bank, that's exactly what it is. So when you give the bank your money, where does it go? It disappears. So it's not yours anymore. And BlockFi is saying, okay, well, we have all this insurance and this is how we hold it. And I've seen banks before, and we're about to see all the banks fail. So why would I just jump onto a similar situation? Like when I can just hold my own gold, man. Like why am I giving it to a
Well,
bank?
because I mean, because money is a tool, and like any tool, if it just sits there, it gets rusty and it's not valuable. I think you should be making your money work for you. Now, that's not a new concept. I didn't invent that. But the idea, so I mean, I guess my point is they're moving the ball in terms of making Bitcoin more universally accepted, in the sense that it's starting to act more like a currency, which is what people understand. So if I can tell somebody, listen, there are literally banks now for your Bitcoin where you can actually get an actual 6% APR, or was it AYR?
APR.
I think APR return. Okay, and for those who don't know, that basically means if you have, let's say you have $100 in the bank at the end of the year, you'll have $106 in the bank. Okay, so I mean that's just smart to just, I think, like, would I put all of my Bitcoin in with him? No, I wouldn't. But in terms of getting a yield back on my Bitcoin, I can't see why you wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I agree with that, and that's where I got to with this statement. So basically, here I'll just say it real quick. He said it's something about Michael Saylor's like, my mission right now is to fix the balance sheets of the world, and Giga Chad McDiamond Hands McSaylor. Michael Saylor's awesome. So I just said, notice he's not doing it through BlockFi, smiley face. And then he responded back to me saying, this is what he said back. It's awesome. He said, yeah, he's using Coinbase period. WTF is your point? Bing boing, diddy doinger, question mark. I don't know why he said that, but it made me laugh. So I had to respond back by saying, lol, you got me. I don't really have a point. I'm just not a fan of BlockFi. Bing boing, diddy doinger. And then, yeah, it made me laugh a lot. There's a bit more to it, but yeah, BlockFi. Okay, so your point is that you get 7% back, and if you do quick maths, this isn't my maths. This is Saylor's maths. So Bitcoin is making an average return of 200% per year. Last year it did 500%. Year before that it did more than that, and then there's been years where it's been less. But on average, 200% back on your purchasing power. And BlockFi is giving you 7% back. So you're adding 7% on top of your 200%, which is nice. It's 200%, 207% back on your purchasing power for the year. But for that extra 7 on top of the 200, you're giving up all of your what are you giving up? You're giving up your Bitcoin. Like, it's not yours. It is you're giving up your private keys. You're giving up all that shit, and you're giving
I don't know
yourself
what you
a lot
mean
of
when you
risk.
say that. What do you mean when you say that?
Okay, so if
Why
you
are you saying that you give up your keys? You don't give up your keys. You deposit it directly into their account.
yes, so it's in an account. It's like having cash in your hand or cash at the bank. Once you give the cash to the bank, they're holding it.
Sure.
When you hold your keys, what that means is when you have it on a hardware wallet or some software wallets, you're actually part of a connected network that is the Bitcoin network, and everybody can see that. Like, you can access that network. When you're putting your Bitcoin into BlockFi, you're just an account holder, and they're holding all the Bitcoin. So on the Bitcoin big program, it says, obviously it doesn't say BlockFi, but BlockFi's checking account, whatever it is, the cryptographic code for BlockFi, shows an amount of whatever you added to it. And then you can withdraw from that, yeah, but it's not your keys. So basically you're betting that BlockFi doesn't go down. And that's just not a bet that I want to make because it's still so soon and it's developing.
Well, again, if your argument is don't put all your eggs into that basket, okay, I can live with that. Although I would make the argument that guys like Jason Williams, right?
Yeah, Jason A. Williams.
I mean, from what I'm seeing on his Twitter feed, he's earning something like $1 million a month in interest, or something like that. Like he's pretty heavy into it. So I guess what I'm saying is, if this dude is willing to, I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm one of those guys where I'm new to the space and I get that, but there's so much exciting stuff out there that it seems almost boring to, I'm going to buy it and just put it onto a thing. Like the point I guess I'm trying to make is the idea that this is a currency. Let's start treating it like a currency as much as we possibly can. And I mean, what does everybody always say, man? Stack sats, right? Yeah, that's the goal. For everybody that's into the space right now, the goal is to stack sats. So do I have every last sat of mine into BlockFi? Not even a little bit. Do I have a fair chunk? Yeah. Like, it would hurt if I lost it right now. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But, I mean...
it's a risk you're willing to take.
I mean, yeah, look at this. Look at it this way. Like, in theory... okay, if I cash it all out for fiat and I put it into a bank and the bank gets robbed, right? In theory, I'm going to, I'll get the FDIC insurance on it and I'll get my money back. But what everyone fails to mention is the part where they've been stealing the value off of that fiat for the last 60 years or the last, 100 years. So, you know what I mean? It's like, pick your poison, but I don't know, man. For me, I would much rather push the DeFi edge and help that along. And if BlockFi becomes valuable, then more people will adopt into that kind of a thing. And then the system becomes, again, it's all about creating that stability in the space, in my view. You know what I mean? Yeah. If everyone's just hodling, you have instability. But if people are actually using it like a currency back and forth day to day, it will generate stability. And then we will reach the ultimate, the pinnacle of what Bitcoin is supposed to be. It will become a currency that people will accept universally. Once we hit that point, we're going to be millionaires. It's going to be sweet. And life will just be better, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, life will be better once you have the amount of money you need to have a good life, for sure. I would agree.
No, that's not what I'm arguing. No, I'm arguing about the stability factor.
Oh,
once Bitcoin becomes stable and we don't have 2,000 point swings in a day, right? Which I think is tied to the notion of universal acceptance, right? Because again, we talked about this, I think, like first or second episode. When people are using Bitcoin as currency, okay, they're not going to freak out and panic if it drops a little bit and start selling off, which will cause a massive drop, right? Because they're going to go, look, this is my money. What am I going to sell it to, right? What am I going to sell it for? You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
They hold on to it. Once Bitcoin is just held onto and then just spent normally, as opposed to being used as and we're going to talk about this later on, as a matter of fact, instead of holding it for what do you want to call it? Gains.
Yeah.
Well, well, most people, I would say, maybe fact check me on this one or tell me what you think, but I would say a good 25 to 40% of the people in Bitcoin space right now have it because they've seen the historical gains and they just want to take a lump of fiat cash and double that and then sell off.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So what we got to do is we got to clear those people out, or at least encourage them to understand that wouldn't it be better if you exchanged your fiat for Bitcoin and just held it and then just spent it like normal currency. So the more things we can do to encourage them to do that, the faster the space becomes stable, and the faster, like I said, I mean, if you're not hyped about being a millionaire, that's cool, and nothing personal. But the idea of in your heart, I know, in your heart, my friend.
It just depends what you're using to measure it. So that was what my point was going to be about what you said is to people that need to just spend it and opposed to hold it, and people that are just using it to make fiat gains. It's like, yeah, you can do that, but I agree with you. It's a bad idea. just
it is,
and spend it.
I agree. I agree, and that's why I'm still annoyed. By the way, my Fold card has not come yet.
Oh no!
No, I'm kind of annoyed. But I mean, I don't. Have you? Let me ask you. Yeah, they said it was coming, but that was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Anyways, have you heard of Are we there yet? I don't know if I've seen this anywhere. Has anyone issued a debit card that is pure Bitcoin?
There's a lot of like ads that I get on my phone, which is just crazy because all of them say the first ever Bitcoin debit card, Canada's first exclusive card, and there's like 10 of them, and they're all claiming to be the same thing. And every time I look at the reviews and stuff, it's all shit. So, is there to answer your question, is there a Bitcoin only card? I would say no, but I'd also say there probably never will be because there's no need for it.
Oh, there will be. Absolutely there will be.
Well, I think your phone is going to be your Bitcoin card. Right?
Well, I mean, they're still going to offer a card. There will some people, I don't ever want a phone. I don't ever want phone currency. Like, that's not going to be my bag. Okay? Just me personally, I'm sorry. I would much rather have that not be on my, I don't, you have I think you use Blue Wallet or something, right? That's a phone-based wallet.
Yes.
Yeah, see, I would never do that. That would never be a thing that I would do, just because I would be too paranoid that somebody could access my phone if I left it at a restaurant or something. You know what I mean? Like, that would not be. And we should take a note. We should really do a show on crypto security kind of stuff. That would be kind of good to do.
But we can do it on multi-sig. To put your mind at ease, if somebody takes my phone, they can't access my Bitcoin. There's a
and you are I would believe that. I really would. It's for me, it's like one of those things where look, if there's a card, I know I could call up Visa or somebody else and be like, stop that card right now, let no transactions happen on that card. You know what I mean?
You know why I'm happy?
Good luck.
You know why I'm happy we're doing this show together? Because when I first talked to you about Bitcoin, I really thought you were going to go down the exact same path as me. And then you started talking to me and you're into Ethereum and all these other things. And I'm like, oh, you haven't seen any of the stuff I've researched. And there's a whole other side to it. So you've done a lot of work on the hardware wallet side. I've done a lot of work on the software wallet side and different apps and different dApps and all that stuff. So we although we both know,
I mine and you don't mine. And
exactly,
There's a lot of knowledge between the two of us. It's almost like we know what we're talking about a little bit, but still not financial advice.
Not financial. It's just funny because you're like, oh, well, do you know about this? I'm like, no. And I'm like, do you know about this? And you're like, no. So we want to talk. We're looking for friends to talk to Bitcoin about. We're like, oh, hey, I found him. Oh, no, you don't know.
Yeah, by the way,
okay.
dear listener, if you guys haven't figured this out, we pretty much just do this show so that we have a dedicated hour and a half every week that he and I can just talk about this stuff. This is our little Bitcoin vacation weekly kind of a
therapy session. You need the therapy, Bitcoin therapy.
Bitcoin therapy. So you got Jason Williams to notice you.
Yeah.
You should definitely, when we put this podcast up, you need to ping him with this again and just be like, hey, we mentioned you. And we made fun of you.
But the better one, sorry, we're still just in comments. I don't know. This might just be a chatting episode. It's fine. We don't really have
It's fine. It's whatever, man.
Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about is Raoul Pal. Do you know who he is?
I know, for the audience, I am familiar. Okay, well, let me say what I think I know, and then you use that to explain better.
Okay.
I think he's pro Bitcoin, but I saw something that he posted where he was really bitchy with somebody, and he was he was like, "Bitch, I was in this. I'm an original OG or something like that."
Oh no, that was Chamath. That was Chamath. That guy's.
Oh, that was Chamath. Okay.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
My bad. Yeah. So, but
okay, yeah.
So Raul, he is pro Bitcoin, but he's like I've seen him and Jason get into it. I think, right? Like,
yeah. So
in terms of like its acceptance and everything else. Go ahead.
It's very funny because there are like a few, I don't know, to me, quote, air quotes, big names on the Bitcoin Twitter space or crypto Twitter space. And with what happened with the Bitcoin price this week, I think everybody was bored. So people were just picking fights left and right with each other.
Yes, they were. It was weird. It was really
very
weird.
Funny. Yeah. It was pretty great. But definitely there was a lot of battles between crypto Twitter and Bitcoin Twitter. Me being very pro Bitcoin Twitter and crypto Twitter, just like whatever. But that said, I did realize somebody posted a thing, and I was like, oh yeah, that's what it is. It was a Venn diagram thing where it showed, okay, so people in crypto Twitter think that crypto is the space and Bitcoin is a little piece of it, and then Bitcoiners realize that Bitcoin is a whole thing by itself.
Is the space.
And crypto is just like a thing by itself. But it's true because crypto and trading crypto, and this is what I realized, is it's more of a hobby and an idea of something you can do to make money, whereas Bitcoin is not that at all, and that's where people get confused. So when people are talking about Bitcoin,
you know what?
they're like, yeah.
I'm going to shock the audience right now. I would say 100% agree with that.
I know
there is a very different, and you were always saying, you know, you're going to come to it, you're going to believe that, you know, Bitcoin is the way, you know, or whatever. But I have started to understand that there is a very different mindset with Bitcoin than there is with crypto. And I personally think they're both valid in the sense, because again, it kind of goes back to like the whole BlockFi thing, where I see the value in BlockFi and what it means to the space in general. I see the value in things like an Ethereum. Okay, I haven't found a reason for Litecoin yet, but I kind of get Ethereum, right? But then when you start to look at it and you go, look, there's like 8,000 different cryptocurrencies, and really only one of them has any sort of legs to it, right? And so I do get that statement. I really do.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is like, people that are in crypto are still interested in becoming millionaires in fiat terms, whereas people in Bitcoin, I could care less about ever becoming a millionaire in Canadian dollars or American dollars for that sense, because I genuinely think everybody will be a millionaire eventually, because the money's going to get so devalued, the stimulus checks are going to get so big that it's like, okay, everybody gets $1 million every month, you know, and that's what happens if UBI hits. So who cares? Like the amount of money you have in fiat doesn't matter. So that's why I think you misunderstand me then when I say let's be millionaires, because when I'm talking millionaires, I'm talking value. I'm not talking digits. I'm talking value. If I can buy $1 million worth of stuff, let's say goods and services, to be less grotesque, right? Then that means my family is secure. That means, right? So I understand what you're saying, and you're right. You're absolutely right. At some point, everyone, I mean, if we keep going down the road, which I don't think is possible because I think it'll crash, but, you know, if the government prints $1 million to every person and hands it out to them, then everyone's a millionaire and it doesn't matter. But I don't think that's what's going to happen with Bitcoin. Is that people who are hodling and people who are stacking sats, they're going to be able to have $1 million worth of value in their bank accounts. That's the big thing for me. Okay, so that's where I don't understand. Like, you need to take a step back and realize that that's coming for you. It doesn't matter how the amount of Bitcoin you have. And I'm not telling you I know how much you have, or telling the audience I know how much.
Well, we've talked about it off air.
But
that's fine.
Yeah, you will have that amount for sure. I guarantee you. You have nothing to worry about. I cried in my wife's arms on the Christmas break being like, oh my God, everything's going to be okay. And I put like $50 in because I was a psycho.
I cried in my wife's arms. We got to have the wife show. We got to do a wife show.
It'll
I got to, because I need confirmation about you crying in her arms over Bitcoin, because I think that's great.
Oh, yeah.
Because then I'm going to take that clip, I'm going to clip it, and I'm going to send it to Jason Williams, and I'm going to be like, listen, man, next time Jeff gives you shit, just play this clip at him. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Free of charge, buddy. Free of charge.
It was an absolute, wonderful, overwhelming feeling of release and joy. Of course I cried. What, you never cried before?
No, I'm not a crier at all.
Really? I mean, I
No,
went a long
actually,
time
I'm
with
lying.
it.
I cry at freaking home.
I've seen you cry.
Yeah, you have.
I've seen you cry. And I've never even met you in person. So leave me alone.
Yeah, I know. I'm just teasing, brother.
That's funny.
So,
no worries.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
No, but anyways, we kind of got off track there. But anyways, what was the Raoul Paul thing?
oh my God, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
So Raoul Paul, I'm getting annoyed here because I'm not finding it in my notifications, but basically he said something about some shit coin, and he was saying something about Ethereum and how it was going to work, and I was like, yeah, it can't be used as money because of this and this, right? So what? And Raoul Paul, I don't know if we answered this question, but he's like a well-known macroeconomist. He studied the economy for forever. So to him, and this is what's funny to me, and this is what's funny about Bitcoin and Bitcoin Twitter, is that he must have thought I was just some asshole being dumb, but I was genuinely asking a question. Like, just like, hey, I don't understand this. And he responded it back by saying, there's value in assets and securities. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't even know what a security is, so I better go look that up, because he's just telling me I'm an idiot. And I'm like, no, I am an idiot. I don't know what these things are.
Right.
But then after that...
Well, from what I remember, Raoul Paul had kind of a rough week, so I remember him getting into it with somebody, so my guess is he was on high alert there. But still...
It was funny.
That's... Okay, so see, that's part of my problem, honestly, like, kind of sidetracking, right? And you're this way too, and we've talked about this before, so I don't feel like I'm talking out of school by saying this. I feel like if we have that attitude towards people that don't understand stuff, like if our first response is that's dumb,
yeah,
then we're gonna turn people off. Like if you, let's say for a second that you were somebody who didn't understand crypto space at all,
yeah,
you know, and that was his response, was like this shorthand, you know, slap you down kind of a response. You're going to say, these guys are assholes. I'm not dealing with this. This is stupid. You know what I mean? Like, as I feel like people that are in the space right now need to understand, if we want the space to be valuable, like long term, we are all ambassadors. We all have to act like every person's question is legit, unless they're clearly trolling, unless they're clearly just, you know, having a go, then, you know, we have to be open to the possibility.
Nice to be
yeah, I mean, that's really what I think it's built. Like, make mean memes all day long. I love the mean memes. I think they're hilarious. I love the fact that, you know, there's a lot of like really savage memes in the community. That's great. But like, when it comes to person relationships, I think if he's gonna just come at you with a slapdown, then I don't know, man. There's lots better ways to deal with it. I don't know if that's just like the Twitter culture. I feel like that's not Bitcoin culture, or that's not crypto culture generally, because most people, if I've asked a question, I get one of two responses. I'll either get no and here's why, or somebody will just send me a link to an article or something. Yeah. That's usually what I get.
It was a funny week. Everybody was angry. Here, I'm just going to read what he said really quick. He's like,
you found it? Okay.
Yeah. So he said, so after responding to me, he made this standalone tweet. He said, next crazy Bitcoin take, ... Me. This project is interesting and might have some future value. Weird BTC Twitter. BTC is the only money. This is a scam. And that's where he was referring to me. That was me. And I was like, oh. And so I'm like, I'm weird BTC Twitter. I made it.
Yep, you are officially the new representative of BTC Twitter. Well done, my friend.
Specifically, weird BTC Twitter. Weird BTC Twitter. And then so what he said is value and money are two different things. And then he's like, weird BT's Twitter. Jeez, why can't I say this? Weird BTC
Slow down,
Twitter.
slow down. I know you're excited, but slow down.
Yeah, but it made me laugh. Scam, shitcoin, Twitter, traitor, stone him, and me sigh. I didn't say that to him, but he also must have noticed I was weird Bitcoin Twitter because I have my laser eyes on all the time, so I forgive him.
Oh,
for
never
not
take your
answering
laser eyes
questions.
off.
Yeah, but that's probably
I
why
am
he
the
wasn't
laser.
being nice. Yeah, you are the laser.
Yeah, but still,
You don't
I mean,
understand the laser. You are not the laser.
I do understand the laser. I'm going to hang on to lasers until we're 100K. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
That's pretty much, yeah, that's the gist. You're right. It's just
Yeah,
not
I
much
know.
to-
I
it's
don't
fun.
know all the things, but I know the important ones.
Laser rays.
I know
don't
why
have-
laser eyes. I told you I like the Maymays. Okay, I'm pro the Maymays.
Nobody knew how to say meme when they first saw it online, did they? It stressed me out.
No, no.
What is this?
don't-
Somebody sent me a what? Meme?
A Maymay? What
That's-
is the Maymays? So
That's dating.
no, that's cool.
That's
You
fine.
actually got
I'm
some.
old.
That's not even. That's a hate comment. That's a straight up,
Oh yeah,
bro. He like. What's that called? Is that like dead naming? Is that what that's
It's-
called?
No, that's a very different thing. It's subtweeting where you're tweeting at somebody.
Oh,
but you're not
Yeah, he
mentioning-
did. He subtweeted you, man. That's sweet. You got subtweeted by Raul.
So it was
Shit,
pretty
you
funny.
practically like Twitter royalty right now, man, or at least Bitcoin Twitter royalty.
Yeah. Oh man, did you see the Surfer Jim thing too? That was the Chamath thing. Maybe we can just talk about a few tweets this week.
Yeah, what was with the Surfer Jim thing? I didn't even see that.
Surfer Jim is awesome. Everybody knows Surfer Jim. He's one of the biggest.
I like the
Bitcoiners
fact that like crypto Twitter has basically given us our entire show this week. That's pretty sweet. Go on.
It's very funny. So, Surfer Jim was a no-name like me, basically. He was just like a whatever person that made content on Bitcoin and was whatever. And Chamath, let's see how many followers. This is now officially, what's it called? Bitcoin Drama podcast?
I think let's call it that. Yeah.
So Chamath Palihapitiya, he helped Mark Zuckerberg make Facebook, and he knows his stuff about technology and stuff. He's got 1.4 million followers, and your boy Surfer Jim had like 5,000 or something. So anyways, Chamath said something, and Surfer Jim just put him in his place, and Chamath got all sad, and now Chamath is going to speak at this Bitcoin conference, and people are going to boo him off stage. So
Oh, is that what that was?
yeah, so oh man, I should have had these all queued up. Oh well, but it's some good stuff. Hey, if you're listening to this and you want like a list of good people to follow, actually on the Discord in the Bitcoin Maximalist section, I posted like some really good names of people to follow, not only for fun, like it's a mix of people that are funny, people that are extremely smart, people that are innovators in the space, and people that just meme. So it's pretty great. These are all names. I don't know if you're following all those people, but you should be.
I probably should, but I'm not.
Okay.
I can guarantee you I'm not.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, seeing as how we're kind of doing this anyways, have you been keeping track of Diddy lately?
Like Puff Daddy, did he?
No. Diddy.
Oh, Diddy.
You know, Diddy. Sorry.
Yeah, he does.
He's been like pimping projects a lot. That's weird, right?
He's a shitcoin promoter for sure. Yeah. I don't know. I think the way he sees it is that he's trying to help people that are working on different projects, and he sees he's a very spiritual, happy, one of the earth people. So
I love his posts. I'm not trying to shit on him at all. I just thought it was weird because he made his bones essentially by being like Bitcoin, right? Like, so for those that don't know, is it Didi? You pronounce it Didi?
Yeah.
Didi Taihatu. Okay, he basically pulled up tent stakes at one point, right? He has a wife and some kids, and he just said, "That's it. My whole life is Bitcoin now." Right? So he like took the family fortune. I think he like sold the house and everything, and just bought Bitcoin.
Yeah, he had like a multi-million-dollar business and a really big house.
Yeah.
Like he did well for himself.
Right.
So
but the point is like he was walking the walk. I would say more literally than anybody else in the game. I would have to make that argument because I've never seen anybody that was like, I don't know, dude. I've just never seen anybody after knowing his story. I mean, everybody else is still, they were still kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you know, kind of a thing. But Didi was like, that's it. My life is Bitcoin. Like, and he's a really interesting case. And when the history books are written on Bitcoin, he will definitely have his own chapter, because he's just this fascinating dude who's like just all in. So, and the thing that interests me about him so much is that a lot of these guys in the crypto space and in the Bitcoin space, they're single guys. You know, they're these tech nerds that never got married or whatever. But here's a guy with a wife and kids, plural, right? And so as somebody who has a wife and kids, and those are primary on my list, you know, those were not, I don't want to say stumbling blocks, but they're definitely that gut check moment where you're like, am I really gonna, you know, when Jeff comes to me 5-6 months ago and he's like, dude, you got to check out this Bitcoin thing. This is a big deal. You have to pay attention to this.
It was only 3 months ago. Isn't that crazy?
Is it really?
Yeah. Time goes by weird.
Yeah.
After
that
Bitcoin.
Is weird. God, it feels like forever ago. No, we've been doing this show for 2 months already, though. Like, there's December. No way it's only been 3 months.
So the end of December, all of January, all of February,
February,
all of March.
Oh my God.
God,
we move fast.
2.5 months-ish.
Bitcoin time is much faster than real time, I have to tell you. So anyways, the point for me is that for to watch Didi, he, you know, like he put it all on the line with a family, and that really sort of like, I don't know, it just kind of opened my eyes to it, I guess, or like it was he connected with me.
Life. He decided to live his life in just not the normal way. He's just like, wait a second, what if?
Oh no, I know, but the way he was so committed to it with the family and everything else, that really, it really spoke to me. It really kind of like grabbed me and was like, hey man, this is a thing. So I really love him to death. I think he's very cool. He's always super positive. Like he's one of those guys, you know, if you met him in real life, like you could probably call him Didi. Like if you saw him like at a restaurant or something, and he'd smile and shake your hand and just start talking to you. Like that's what I get off of him. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying at all to like hate on him or anything, but it does strike me as odd that the last couple of weeks he has been kind of like pushing these different projects in crypto that aren't Bitcoin. And I think it's interesting. I'm not quite sure what to make of it, and I'm genuinely not judging. I just wanted to hear what your thoughts were on it.
I think he's just trying to have fun with it. He's like, imagine if we're 9 years into this podcast, you're going to be scraping for things to talk about because you've talked about it all and you've done it all. So I think he gets excited by shitcoins thinking that they're going to be new projects, and he's just like, hey, maybe this one will do something cool. And he spends a lot of his time looking into them, so he sees a lot of...
That's true. I mean, there's value in that, right?
Yeah, there's value in learning. Like, somebody has to find out what these projects are to see if they're good or not. And he's just somebody that's so excited about everything. So he's just like, hey, look at what this new coin does and how it works. And no, this one's doing well. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting because he had...
Oh, just,
yeah, that's true.
He hasn't worked, so I think maybe he's like like how trading crypto could be a job. I think that's what he does too. He's like, well, let's see if I can just make money just trading these things around. So regardless of using them,
I think that's what he's doing.
Yeah, regardless of using them for what they are, there is money to be made there by just trading, if that's a thing you want to do.
Which and you and I disagree maybe on that, but I think there's value in that. I think, you know, I think that anything that can give somebody financial freedom is worth investigating if that's what you're into. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for most people because it would be like having $1,000 and just being like, I'm going to go trade on the stock market. Well, have you ever bought a stock before? Have you ever traded? Have you ever day traded? No, I'm just going to start doing it. Well, that's dumb. That's a dumb thing to do. Don't do that. Yeah. But if you spend some time studying and you feel like, you know, I would start small, but I would do it, you know, like I said, I think that anything, again, I'm just going to repeat myself, whatever, anything that gets people to financial freedom is a good thing. I don't care what the vehicle is at this point. I really don't, because I see now how badly the system is skewed against normal everyday people, and it bothers me no end that everybody has been funneled into this box of success. You know, go do well in school, go to college, get a job, save money, work hard, retire.
Yeah.
What a load of garbage, seriously. That is not the way. That's not the way. It's just not. And it is not the way. So I just want people to be financially free. Because once you're financially free, you really can. And I don't want to sound too hippy dippy or nothing like that, but once you are financially free, you are free to become anything you want to be. You know, like that's the point of life, is to explore all these avenues and to be free to do that. But if you're caught in some cubicle trap somewhere, some rat race trap, you can't do that. So I know you're not a fan of the day trading crypto mentality. But if you can do that and you can make it work, I say go for it, man. Now, I'm going to caveat that with saying for every $100 you make in crypto day trading, put 50 of that away into Bitcoin. Just do that. You'll be better off. But
all of it.
But you know what I'm saying? Like I really can't blame him if that's his goal, is if he's seeing new things on the horizon and he wants to kind of like bring them forward and maybe help some people out. I'm down with that. I just thought it was interesting because he has been like one of the flag bearers for Bitcoin for so long, and now all of a sudden he's popping up in my feed like pimping all these other things, and it's just interesting to me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to touch on a few things you said. One, you said financial freedom, and anytime somebody says that, I cringe because it's a frustrating term to hear. It's thrown around, and I know you didn't mean it this way, but this is how I take it. It's thrown around in like pyramid schemes all the time. Oh, you're
right.
Step to financial freedom, and the craziest thing to me is like once, I was talking to somebody. Actually, you know what it was? This is annoying. But it was the people that tried to scam me before I got into Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah. We talked about that like 3 episodes ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So nice. And so they were like, "Oh yeah, you'll be financially free." And I was like, "Are you financially free?" And the person chuckled and was like, "Yeah." And I took that in such a weird way, and it really sat with me. So then I came to realize through a bunch of other videos I've watched and things that I've done and what I've learned, and this is going to sound hippie as F too, but financial freedom is not an amount of money that you're going to have. You can be you can be financially free right now. You just have to realize you don't need money to be financially free. Being financially free, just set yourself away from this trap you're in, thinking, "Oh, I just need a little bit more money. I just need a little bit more money." Like, you don't need the house you're living in. All you need to do is enjoy your day. Like, if you really break it down, this is how I think about it anyway. So if you really break it down, all you need to do is enjoy the day of your life that you're living today. And once you start doing that, you'll start enjoying the things you do. So if you're doing a job that you don't like, okay, well, I'm going to try and enjoy my day. And then you go to work, you don't like your job, but you're going to enjoy your day. So you start to enjoy that job, or you don't, and you just quit that job. If you don't enjoy your job, if you don't like what you're doing, don't do it. So that's why I say, again, as day trading cryptos as a hobby, if you love doing that, and like you said, like if it's something that you want to study and you want to figure out how to do, then you can definitely do that. I just can never see myself enjoying my day trading cryptos. I like what I do for a living. So I'm going to continue to enjoy that. And once I stop doing that, I'm going to find something else I do. You asked me early on, like, hey, what would you rather be doing tonight if you were a millionaire? And I told you, I was like, dude, I just want to talk about Bitcoin with a friend. And you're like, yeah, right. And it's like, yeah, that's what I want to do right now. Like, really badly, I want to talk to a friend about Bitcoin. So, I mean, the day will come. If you want to go on vacation to Hawaii, you can do that. Like, you need a plane ticket, so save up enough for a plane ticket and then just go. And then just come back and be in debt, and who gives a fuck, you know what I mean? So, financial freedom is not an amount of money you're going to make. And yeah, just stop stressing about money. It's going to be okay. Bye. Buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was super hippie. Not gonna lie to you.
It was, yeah. I'm pretty hippy dippy, man.
Mm-hmm. No, but here's the thing. Here's why I disagree. Because there are single mothers out there. There are single fathers out there. There are families who, they have 4 or 5 kids and they love their kids and they're really happy they had them, but they have to work, 2 jobs to support them or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
that's because they're trying to live a life that they think they need to live. You don't need to live that
well,
life.
yes, I mean, there are certain realities, okay? When you have 4 kids, and I can speak to this one pretty succinctly, your grocery bill is high because your children have to eat. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it works. And you're right. There are things you can do that will mitigate the amount of money you need day to day. But to just say, well, you don't need money, well, that's not, I mean, part of what you're saying is right.
Yeah.
In the sense that
it's hard to explain.
In the sense that you should try to be happy where you're at.
Yeah.
Because honestly, you only have so many days in a life. Mm-hmm. So if you're miserable for all the days, have you really lived a life? Like that kind of philosophical statement kind of a thing.
Somebody tweeted out, if you're over 24, you likely have less than 2 billion seconds left. And I was just like, oh, my feelings. Okay, so we're both under 2 billion seconds.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Count.
But I guess my point is, and you know what, I have very close people to me that they have a lot less time than that. So I understand. I understand the idea of trying to enjoy moment to moment. That's super important, and that is good, and that is true. But if you have to,
if you have responsibilities.
Money, okay, no. All right, money will not necessarily make you happier. That is a true statement, okay? In fact, there have been several studies that have shown that people with more money are not any happier than people with less money, okay? So that is true. That is 100% accurate. Mm-hmm. Because people, in general, put the wrong focus on things. Yeah. But what I'm talking about is the idea of if you can remove stumbling blocks to your happiness, things like, oh my gosh, I have what are those people called? Collection agencies calling me every day, right? Mm-hmm. That's a thing that causes dissatisfaction. That the only cure to that is just paying them off, right? So I guess what I'm talking about is
just not stressing about it. Just let go of that stress.
They make it very hard not to, my friend. If you've never had a collection agency, right?
I have, and this is one thing that bothers me is like people say, "Hey, let go of the stress," and then people say, "Well, it's not easy." And like I never said it was easy, and everybody gives that answer when somebody says, "Stop stressing about it," and somebody responds by saying, "Well, it's not that easy." The person that said "stop stressing" never said it was easy. It's very hard. I guess we're going to go down this road. That's where I think...
Yeah, go down the road, man. Whatever.
Like, being happy, and like you said, money's not going to bring you happiness. So, therefore, if you're upset because you're poor, you're always going to be upset that you're poor. It doesn't matter how much money you have. They'll always be somebody with more
well, stop right there. Stop right there. Because if you're... Okay, right. So... that is a very good thing that we could both definitely sink our hooks into, because your definitions of happiness, if they're tied to money per se, then no, right? Like if you're sad because I'm not driving a Lambo, well then you've already made a mistake, in my opinion. Okay, if you're sad because I can't. I don't have a 60-foot yacht, and I don't drink champagne with Leonardo DiCaprio or something. I don't know. I just pick somebody, but you know what I'm saying. Like if that's your definition, well then maybe you need to rethink your definition. But if your definition is, I want to have a big enough house for all my kids, and I'd like a little bit of land, and like if they're and even that, you're right.
About
like
setting
a certain
goals,
point,
right?
Right. Yeah, I guess that's kind of the thing. Like we're talking about setting goals versus like letting our dreams dictate how miserable we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my goal personally is to just not be beholden to anyone. That's all I'm asking. You know, I just don't want at the end of the day to feel like I owe somebody something, you know, in a financial sense. Obviously, I owe a debt to friends and family, just like a personal kind of a thing, you know, but in terms of like financial debt, right? I don't want to owe anybody anything. If I can walk away from this planet with that in my pocket, then I'm happy. You know what I mean?
Well,
but
good.
for some people, they've already kind of screwed that poot. And I was one of those people for a long time where I made some really bad decisions in my 20s and early 30s. And so I understand like the idea of I need to get out of this, right? It impacts me day to day, and it impacts me emotionally day to day. And I don't feel like people can be the best person they could be when that is a hindrance to them. So I think anything that they can do, and I think they should, and I think it's a good, I don't want to say it's a bad thing, because it's a learning experience. And as long as you learn from it and you don't just sit there on your thumbs and you just piss and moan about how miserable you are, because I know people like that too, where they've made some bad choices, right? And then their whole existence is, well, I'm screwed. I can't do anything about this. And it's like, okay, no, you can. You just need to. Like, figure out what you're going to do. There's lots of different options. Get a second job. Learn about day trading Bitcoin. Learn about day trading stock. I don't care what you do.
Yeah, open your own business.
Open your own business. You know, I mean, there's a lot of different options. But if you're, it's like everything we talk about. It's pretty complicated, you know, where there's a big difference, I think, between I want to own my own private island and I really would like to be able to make my car payments at the end of the month. You know, like those are two very different things in my world. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get that. I understand. And I agree with you. So long as the car payment and the car that you have makes you happy and you can pay it off eventually.
Oh, I mean, and I'm saying that as somebody who hasn't had a car payment in 15 years. Honestly, I don't buy new cars. That's to me that's stupid. That's dumb. But
it's a bad asset to buy for sure. They depreciate in value.
I mean, what is it? It's like a car loses 20% of the value the minute you drive it off the lot.
50, man. I'm pretty sure it's like 50%. You can't buy a car for.
So let's split the difference and say 35%. So if you buy a car for $10,000, let's say, which by the way, you can't buy a new car for $10,000, but you buy a car for $10,000 and then you immediately go to a sale where you're going to sell that car. What is it? You can't sell it for more than $7,500. You just lost $3,500 or so, or $6,500. Sorry, you lost $3,500. That's dumb to me. Find financial freedom by not buying new cars. Don't do that.
Yeah, the thing is when you buy that new car, you're doing it because you probably worked really hard to make a lot of money, and you're like, oh, look at all this money I have. I want to buy something that will make me happy because I'm looking to get happy. You buy the car, and then like you drive it for 10 minutes, and you're not happy anymore because it wasn't the car that was going to make you happy. Yeah, this is pretty.
Can I tell a story?
Of course.
Oh yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. Do your hippie moment first.
That's pretty.
I don't think that's hippie at all.
You can't. Yeah, you can't find joy in money. Having enough money will never bring you happiness. If you have anything, just appreciate what you already have, and it's going to start you on a path of feeling a lot better about yourself and your life. If you just look around your house.
I think I hit on it, Cook. So if you define your happiness by, and this has gotten very esoteric, which is kind of weird, but if you define your happiness by how much stuff you have, okay, you're never going to be happy, because there's always going to be new stuff to have. There's always going to be new shit to buy, right? Because that Apple iPhone 11 is going to be outdated in 6 months, and you have to get the Apple iPhone 12 or Apple iPhone 11B or whatever the hell it is. I don't know. Okay. But if your happiness is, I really would like to have more time to spend with my parents, or be home with my kids and homeschool, or the things that really matter in life, making connections, finding self-fulfillment. You know, I really wish I had more time to paint. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like
Make
if
time,
if
man.
those are your goals, then you will find ways to financially set yourself up to make those happen.
Mhm.
If your goals are I just want more stuff, you'll never find enough financial freedom.
Yeah.
Because there will always be more. Can we agree? We can agree on that, yeah?
Of course, and that's like that touches on a major key point of what Bitcoin does, because the fiat currencies that we use right now
Very.
are
Oh my God, you segue so good, man. I kind of like want to like
uh,
hug you or something because this segue is so good right now.
it was a pretty good segue. This isn't even whatever. I'm just gonna we'll talk about this for a
Just
bit. We had
just
this
go
is the first time we mentioned there's a little bit of a script, and like we went completely off script, but it's fine.
off. Yeah. Again,
Okay,
not a script.
so
Not a
the
script.
yeah, so
Outline.
oh, outline. So the interesting thing about fiat currencies versus Bitcoin, and why Bitcoin doesn't apply to any of the shit coins, and why it's different, is that when you have Bitcoin and you start pricing things out in the amount of Bitcoin you have, what you notice happens is things just get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. I tried to explain this to a friend and they didn't understand. So to put it very simply, a few years ago, to bring up this pizza story again, somebody bought a pizza with 10,000 bitcoins. 10,000 bitcoins. And today, if they wanted to buy that bitcoin, they'd need to use, or if they wanted to buy that pizza, they'd need to use about 0.00003 of a bitcoin, which means the pizza has gone down in value from 10,000 bitcoins to 0.00003. And that only happened, that's called deflation. And that's what's happening to the entirety. Well, it's a deflationary asset. It makes everything cheaper around it as it gets more valuable. And with fiat currencies, I think this is sort of a subliminal thing, but like you said, like when you go to buy the new iPhone, you say, okay, well, I'm going to buy it now because, well, actually, I guess the iPhone's not a good idea. What's a good example? But basically, anything you buy, you know that you worked hard for this fiat currency, and you know that you just want to spend it, because if you don't spend it on something fun to make yourself happy, you're gonna spend it on rent, or you're gonna spend it on groceries, and you don't want to do that. So you want to, your fiat is meant to be spent. It's a tool meant to be spent to buy goods and services. That's what it's for. Whereas Bitcoin is meant to be used. Well, in one aspect of it, it's meant to be used to be hodled. It's meant to just be stored. So I can't remember where I was going with this. But yeah, oh yeah. So with the whole buying things. So what happens when you own a lot of things and you're fiat rich? You look around your house and you have a really nice chair and you have awesome sofas and a big giant flat screen TV and all this stuff, but you have no money in the bank, or even if you do, you just want to use that money to spend more stuff. Whereas when you have Bitcoin, what you want to do is sell your chairs, sell your TV, sell everything, because you want to buy more Bitcoin, because you know you'll be able to buy more stuff in the future. It's just crazy. Like I emptied my piggy bank. I want to sell my piggy bank so that I can get, you know what I mean? Just to bring it back.
I want to go back to I'm going to do my story now about stuff versus things.
Okay.
Right? So long time ago, I had a buddy, and he and we were in a band together. We hung out. It was pretty solid friendship. Like they'd come over, they'd do barbecues, we'd hang out with them, blah 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 blah. And one day I was talking with him. We were actually chatting over like Discord or something, and he was the type of guy who would buy a Lexus, and he wouldn't buy it, he would lease it. Okay. And for those that don't know, a lease is like one of the worst ways you can purchase a car, because you never actually purchase the car. Okay. You spend, like, he was spending something like $500 a month for a Lexus that in the end he would never own. And he would just get a new Lexus like every 2 years. And he would constantly have like $500 out of pocket. And it was a very nice car. I have no problem with Lexuses. Please, Lexus, if you want to sponsor this show, that's fine. I got no problem with Lexus. But leasing a car is, in my view, it's dumb. Because the only value of a car, in my view, is essentially running it till it don't run no more. I've never been a guy who has been into cars, right? I'm not a car guy. So I've always been the guy who is going out with like maybe $5,000 and buying from somebody and buying a car, right? And as such, I kind of know what to look for in a car. I know how to purchase a car that will last me. Like my favorite, I don't know, personal story is I once bought a Buick off a buddy of mine for like $300. And I ran that car for 5 years. And then at the end, I found an online website that gave me $500 for that car. So not only did I only spend $200, but I got 5 years of use out of that car. And then I sold it I made a $300 profit off of 5 years of use. Like that's awesome. A total win for me. That's a total win for me. Yeah. Now, that car sucked. It was falling apart. It had no muffler. I literally got pulled over a couple of times for having no muffler. Okay. The left windshield wiper didn't work very well. But the point is, I didn't care because all it was doing was getting me from point A to point B. And that's always how I've been about cars. It's always been about functionality. Does the car run? Does it get me where I need to go? That's fine. Is it pretty? I don't give a shit. I don't care. So anyways, I'm talking to this buddy of mine and I'm telling him, listen, man, it just doesn't seem smart to me to like pay $500 a month for a car you'll never have any possession of. It just seems weird. And he's like, oh yeah? That's coming from a guy who always drives a shitbox. And I was like, okay, first of all, that's hurtful. That's weird that you would, like...
What about your feelings, man?
I mean, but my point is like...
Yeah.
If that, like, that's your perception
that attitude.
Of me, that I'm the guy who drives a shitbox. You know what I mean?
He's
like,
better than you because he's got...
And he thinks he's better than me. And it kind of ended the friendship. Like, we kind of didn't really hang out much after that. Because I was just like, yeah, if this is your definition of what important is, and I don't even fit that definition because I, quote unquote, drive a shitbox, okay, I guess that's fine. Go hang out with your other Lexus friends, I guess. Whatever. I don't give a shit. Yeah. But it was just one of the, like... But here's a guy, he's gonna chase after stuff, you know? And for me, I'm not interested in that. And I'm just not. So when I say we're gonna be millionaires, it isn't because I want to be quote unquote a millionaire. It's because I want the things that kind of financial freedom brings. I want things like I want my wife to retire and spend time at home with the kids. Yeah, that's it. I want a Lexus. No,
I just want a Lexus so it can drive past my parents.
Shut up, you Canadian son of a bitch. I just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I know.
There are people like that out there, and I guess what I'm saying is if those are your friends, please listen to me, dear listener. If your friend is the type of person to kind of throw it in your face that you always drive a shit car, that is not the friend you want. It really isn't. Because that's the type of person. Yeah, go ahead.
Those are the type of people that are going to buy Bitcoin last, man. Because they're just so busy chasing stuff. Yeah. And they'll buy Bitcoin and then they'll sell it for fiat and then they'll buy Bitcoin and sell it for fiat.
They'll buy it at 55,000. They'll wait till it gets to 75 and they'll be like, oh, look, I made like 20% on my purchase. And then they'll sell that off.
Yeah.
And they'll keep chasing. They'll keep chasing all the way to the end when fiat currency is worth zero. You know, when his $500 a month lease is actually going to be like $7,000 a month because that's what dollars are worth now, you know. And I'm sorry I'm being a little snarky, but honestly, that hurt. Like, genuinely. This is, like I said, this is a guy I was in bands with. Like, we toured and we hung out and we like shared beers and, you know, and it was really hurtful for him to be like, basically, man, your value isn't worth more than your car. That was hurtful. Not gonna lie. So don't be that guy, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think.
Anyways.
That's good. Okay, let me tell you a story about my car purchase because I have a similar situation to you except opposite. See, you were very smart in buying your car where you bought it for cheap and then you sold it at a profit. I tried to do the same thing, but this just exemplifies how stupid I am and why you shouldn't listen to any financial advice from me because I I'm just really bad with. I was very bad with money for a long time. Probably still am, but I'm working on it. Again, don't listen to financial advice here. Okay, so I bought a car for my wife. She wanted a Honda Civic. And she's like, I just want a Honda Civic. I found a cheap one. It was good. It was cheap, and I was like, okay, is this the one? And she's like, yeah, that's the one. And then I wanted to do a present for her, and she likes purple, so I painted the rims purple, and we put little purple accents in the trunk and under the hood and all this stuff, and we cleaned it up, and I got my buddy to actually put in like a fair amount of work. Like let's just, I don't know, more than the cost of the car amount of work went into it just to make it look good, feel good, sound good, all these things. And what happened, not like 3 months later, her mom calls us and says that she's getting a new vehicle and that we can have her old car. And it was much newer and better. It was a Mazda something from more recent cars. So the thing that happened was that this Honda that I just worked on for months and like searched and scoured for and made nice and put a lot of work into, it's like, okay, well, we don't have room for this car anymore. I guess we'll sell it. And then just in the heat of all the frustration, I remembered that I had bought it for $2,000. So then I just posted it for sale for $2,000, and then somebody took it right away. And then, like, as they're driving away, I was like, oh yeah, I put in a lot of money into that car. I just lost literally thousands of dollars because I'm an idiot. So that felt pretty bad. I mean, it's fine because we still have a vehicle and all those things, but it's just like...
Yeah, but at least you didn't have some friend pointing their finger at you and being like, idiot, you stupid dummy.
Well, I was doing that to myself.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the difference between like just not knowing how to do things, because you're a young man or whatever, and like, and
you learn from your mistakes, right? So
yeah, that's part of life, right? Like, and listen, all of life should be like that. Like, again, when we talk about financial freedom, right? One of the nice things about financial freedom is you can afford to mess up. Like, that's the big thing. When you can afford a little bit to mess up, you will learn so much more. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is a really important thing to not feel that super pressure, that tightening in your throat every time you're about to move a dollar from here to there, kind of a thing. Yeah, so
I want to hammer the point home that financial freedom, again, is not an amount of money you have or how much money you're making, because the ability to do something with risk, you can do that with $0. It's just you know what I mean? Like, you're free.
Yes and
you're
no.
free to
make
mistakes.
I can't start a business with $0. I got to put money into that, even if it's just my time money. You know what I mean? Like, you have to.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but you can't prevent yourself from starting a business because you're scared it's going to fail. I guess that's where I'm going with it.
No, and what I'm saying is you're right, but when you have financial freedom, you are much more likely to take those kind of risks, and to, I mean, that I think you're right, but I don't know. I want to kind of like reach out to the people that are maybe on a fence somewhere and be like, I don't know.
Just do the thing that you want to do. Like, no,
it's just two guys talking.
We're just two guys talking. We don't even know what we're talking about. Hey, do you want to talk about the price of Bitcoin?
Would you like to do a price check? Why Bitcoin presents your weekly price check.
A price check, yeah. Let's hit it.
All right, let's talk about price checks.
Okay, so
real quick, I have it written down. You ready?
Nice.
Yeah. So last week.
No. Yeah, you wanted to. I thought you were going to do this price check is brought to you by.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
It's on you this time.
Excuse me.
You do the whole scramble though first.
Yeah, the whole thing while you're doing it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this podcast is not sponsored, but if it were sponsored, this week it would be sponsored by a little company called Decrypt. Decrypt is a very interesting little app you can get on your phone. I'm pretty sure it's good for both Android and iPhone. And if you have any interest in the crypto space whatsoever, you go ahead and you download Decrypt. That's DECRYPT. and it will bring you like daily news articles about the crypto world. I find it very valuable. I love looking at it. They have new stuff every day. For example, this week their top five, for today, their top five is. I'll just read the headlines. Tesla, Square Bitcoin buys. We're tip of the iceberg, says Saylor, and we just talked about Saylor. CT CEO reveals Norwegian firm's Bitcoin investment strategy. Dorsey, Saylor, Winklevoss twins join MIT campaign to protect Bitcoin. That's interesting. Bitcoin is friend and foe for Tesla and Elon Musk, says Wedbush. And MicroStrategy CEO Mike Saylor explains why he chose Bitcoin over gold. That's just today. Guys, you could get these kind of articles every day right in your app, right on your phone. So this price check is not brought to you by Decrypt.
Nice.
Okay. How was that? Was that pretty good?
That was good. I think we nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it. All right. So, you ready?
Yeah, let's hit it. So, those of you that don't know, we do a price check every week. We like to guess what next week's price is going to be and keep score on who's winning. Now, I think we've only done it for 1 week. Is that right?
And I'm up right now. I'm up 1-0.
1-0 for
I'm
Doug.
about to be up 2-0. I can feel it in my bones.
Oh yeah, I guess.
All right. So last week, Jeff said that today, as of this podcast, we would be at 67,782.82. And I said we would be, as of this podcast, 59,946.36. And I have on my market watch 54,000. Oh my gosh, this is hurtful. 54,676.69.
And
so
in Canadian loonies, that's $67,728.77. Oh, sorry. Okay, so Bull Bitcoin does a thing where they say we buy, we sell, and I always read the we buy, but they're selling a Bitcoin for $70,020.57 Canadian, which is actually pretty interesting given my 70,000.
Yeah, okay.
Wild.
All right. Okay. So now here's the part of the show where Jeff and I take a few minutes and we're going to amalgamate all of our knowledge about Bitcoin over the last couple of months, and we're going to predict what the value of Bitcoin will be at during our recording of the show for next week. So a week from tonight, we're going to both predict what it's going to be at. Okay? Let's
and
take
just keep
a
in
moment.
mind, things change quickly in Bitcoin. So we do record on Mondays. Today is March the 22nd, 2021. Okay, do you want... I guess I should write it down. Okay.
Yep, gotta write it down first.
Did you say it
That's
was?
the rule.
Did you say it was? I might have missed that. What did you say it was?
What's that?
The price?
What I say it was?
Yeah, 54.
It's currently at
671?
54. Yeah, 54. 696 something. It's already changed, so I don't know.
Yeah,
it was at 696 though. I remember that.
Gotcha. Okay, 54. It's 54 right now. Wow, we were both way off, eh?
But both of us were pretty way off, but I was technically closer. So
we're closer. 2-0 for you. That's fine. Okay, I'm gonna write down a number here.
All right.
Next week, huh?
Yeah. Once again, this space is available on our Patreon, which is not available. But if anyone was interested, we could just take I don't know, we'd probably take like 50 sats to advertise in this space. That'd be fine. Or 500 sats. We'd take 500 sats probably. That'd be good.
Any of it. Oh yeah, so that's well, you're gonna be excited about Sphinx Chat. We'll talk about that later. Okay, I got my number.
All right. Well, as the winner, I'll go first this time. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to say that next week at this time, a time of recording, we're going to see a price of Bitcoin in US dollars registered at $63,947.50.
Okay, we got a game this week.
Okay, here we go.
My guess is that Bitcoin's price will be in US dollars $63,549.92. So it's up or down now.
92 cents? 92 cents, you said?
Yeah, 63.549.
I like it. I like it. Ooh, we have a very interesting
9?
game.
Yeah. So we both are expecting the similar outcome of what's going to happen over the course of the next week. So
yeah.
That's cool. I don't think we want to touch on why. Not yet. We can do an episode on why we think prices are going to be where they are. But this is just fun to guess.
I think we have to, because honestly, I'll forget. I'm not going to lie.
You'll forget.
I'm just going to say it because I'll forget. But honestly, I feel like there should have been a price hike already. So I think that we're due, essentially. Essentially what I'm saying is we have hovered near the 60 mark so long that we're going to start to see more players jump in and hodl, and that will shoot the price up. That's my guess.
Yeah, it's been consolidating for a while. It
yep.
could. I thought we might see it go back into the 40s tonight. I was like, oh man, this would be awesome.
No, that would be good for you because you're looking to buy. But
yeah, you gotta stack those sats, man.
Gotta stack the sats. Well, you should probably use BlockFi. Just saying.
No, that's a terrible idea. Okay. With that,
where are we at?
We're oh my god.
Can we stomp on a no coiner real quick? Just
okay.
like 10 minutes of no coiner.
Let's do no coin. So you want to talk about JPOW? Is that who you want to talk about?
Yeah, I want to talk about JPOW.
Okay, talk about JPOW, and then
also, I think it's weird that you're referring to him like he's a cool guy. He's not a cool guy. Why are you doing that?
Wall Street Bets calls him JPOW. Do you know any of the Wall Street Bets lingo? JPOW's JPOW.
No, but I've not.
Tendies. Do you know what tendies are?
All right. I do know what tendies are. You told me what tendies were. You educated me on tendies back in the day.
I don't even, dude, I learned like right the same day I told you probably. I'm not part of it, but they call him JPOW and it's very funny.
Ugh,
okay, tell me about JPOW.
All right, let me tell you about JPOW, my friend. All right, there's an article I'm going to post in the links down below. Just check down below. All right, Bitcoin is quote-unquote more a substitute for gold than the dollar, says the Fed chair Powell. Okay, Jerome Powell reiterates his opinion about Bitcoin as a gold substitute, but a sell-off accompanies his other criticisms. Okay, so they talk about in this article about how basically his comments kind of drove the price down this week. And you know what? That's fine. I don't care. His take is, let me see what he says here. Crypto assets, this is Jay Powell talking. He says crypto assets, we call them crypto assets, he uses air quotes there. They're highly volatile. See Bitcoin. And therefore not really useful as a store of value. And they're not backed by anything. Okay. Freeze frame, scratch record right there. Okay. They're not backed by anything. Excuse me, Mr. Powell. Can you tell me what the US dollar that you're in charge of printing multiple versions of over and over again to the tune of like trillions of dollars? Can you tell me what that's backed by? Yeah, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So don't come into my house called the Church of Bitcoin, and don't come into my house and start talking about how suddenly Bitcoin is not backed by anything. Let me tell you what Bitcoin is backed by, my friend. I'm getting my hackles up. Bitcoin is backed by companies like Tesla, by Visa, by MasterCard, okay? By things like Michael Saylor and Jason Williams, all right? And Didi, all right? I put more trust in those institutions than I would ever put in the Fed. All right? They're not backed by anything. Neither is the dollar. All right? That's ridiculous. He goes on to say, they're more of an asset for speculation, so they're not particularly in use as a means of payment. I'm sorry, did my friend Jeff just not pay for his heating bill and his mortgage in Bitcoin? Oh, no, I think he did. So I don't think you know what you're talking about, Jay Powell. I think you're completely off the mark. So don't you come in here casting aspersions on my Bitcoin. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't like it. Let's see. What else does he say? He goes on, and I'm going to post this so you all can see this. This is... He says... Oh, no. So here's the danger. All right? I'm going to read this quote. As with Yellen, Powell appeared to spark a burst of negative market sentiment, with the BTC/USD dropping to almost $1,000 following his response. And then they show a graph where he makes his comments, and then for about, I don't know, a quarter of an hour, half an hour, Bitcoin dropped like a rock. And then it shot right back up, by the way. And I'm going to link this article so you guys can see it. But it drops. It drops hard. It drops from 57,000 to 56,000. And then within, I don't know, like I said, 30 minutes, it goes right back up to 57,000.
Yeah.
So
you can notice on this graph that it's not that big of a drop compared to the drops that were the hours before it. And this
no, so what he did is he scared people that didn't believe in Bitcoin. Is what he did. He scared people that didn't believe in Bitcoin. Okay? And that in and of itself should tell you something. Is that Bitcoin is, and I don't, this is not necessarily the best word to use, but Bitcoin is a faith-based currency in the sense that people that use it have faith in it. I have faith in it. Jeff has faith in it. And it is valuable because people like us have faith in it. Tell me somebody who has faith in the dollar, right? People that know what's happening with the dollar and all the printing, they don't have faith in the dollar. Like the average people out there in the world that, you know, they collect their checks and they pay their bills, they have faith, quote unquote, but they have no idea what's coming, okay? So just by listening to this podcast, you're already 50% ahead of that curve. So here's a guy who is printing the money that is devaluing your money in your pocket, and he is poo-pooing Bitcoin, and he is saying it's a speculative market. It's not used as currency, and it can't be used as currency. He doesn't understand what he's talking about. That in and of itself should make you super nervous about the US dollar, in my opinion. If somebody doesn't understand what currency is and what makes it valuable and what makes it not valuable, and he's going to talk about it at length, ad nauseum, that should make you very nervous, because this is the guy that is making your dollars in your pocket less valuable. It really irritates me. It makes me very mad, and that's why I felt like, because Jeff was even like, "You really want to go after J-Paul?"
Well, here, let me explain.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, listeners, when you go start learning about Bitcoin, there's a lot of tinfoil hat people that you're just reading these stories and you're like, "Oh, this is kind of nuts," and so sometimes I have to put on my tinfoil hat and keep myself safe from the crazy raise. I don't know, go down to the flat Earth, all these crazy stories. But one that I've kind of gone down. Let me just make sure my tinfoil hat's on straight here. Is that I think maybe Jerome Powell is actually a very, very smart man, similar to Peter Schiff as well. These are smart people that understand economy, that understand finance, that understand money, and that understand currency. That's what they've studied their whole life. And what I think J-Pow is doing here is that he's putting out these words saying, hey, Bitcoin is comparable to gold. And I think what he's doing is giving the people a warning like, hey, by the way, the US dollar is done. This game is over. The whole fiat system doesn't work. It's failing. So he's saying you should probably look into gold, or you should say, hey, Bitcoin's better than gold. And maybe if he has a little grain of love in his heart for the human race or humankind, maybe he's just being like, you should probably look into Bitcoin because it's better than gold. Because all he's going to do is take the US dollar, dump it into Bitcoin, make anybody that's holding Bitcoin in America awesome, and make anybody that didn't grab it before he did very, 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 very poor. And then that gets fixed by the government taking care of you and all those sort of things. So if you want to not be taken care of by the government, then you should probably buy Bitcoin. I don't know. That's my tinfoil hat thing. It's not really tinfoil. You never know if you're wearing a tinfoil hat when you're wearing it. I feel like I'm probably wearing one.
Who knows it all these days? Absolutely. Yeah. But I don't know, man. It smelled to me like he was definitely trying to downplay. Because honestly, and I'm not even tinfoil hat at this point. I just think anybody in a position of power, they don't like Bitcoin. They don't like Bitcoin because it leads to bad things for them. Honestly, it leads to financial freedom for the rest of us, and that's bad for them. That's what I'm going to say.
I think that's true, but I also think that these people love their wealth, and if you had a button that said make as much money as you want, then you can make as much money as you want, and you want to buy something cool, so they buy cool things. But then what if the coolest thing ever was Bitcoin? So you just print as much money as you want until you buy as much Bitcoin as you want, because then you have the most of the coolest thing. That's what they can do. So, does that make sense?
So you're hold on. You're suggesting that what he should be doing is buying a bunch of or printing a bunch of money and then putting it in his pocket and then buying Bitcoin?
Yeah. That's what I think he's going to do.
Okay. Let's run with that for 1 second. There are lots of very smart economic people who don't think that Bitcoin is the way to go. Is it more because they don't see it as valuable, or because they have vested interests in what they're doing for it not to be valuable? You know what I'm saying?
I understand that. I think the people that are saying that I think anybody that has heard about Bitcoin, that has put in any research at all, has realized that it's inevitable. So these people that are in power are like, oh shit, we're done. So all they're trying to do now is prolong their power as much as they can, because they know it's ending soon. And that's what's happened since the Federal Reserve existed. They just kept pushing, they kept kicking the can down the road, as a lot of people say. So it's like, oh shit, this is a bubble, this is a problem. Okay, well, if I can just squeeze out another year, and now JPOW is in a position where it's like, oh shit, okay, let's just print this much money and maybe I can make it another year, and then it's not on my back. And eventually it's going to land on somebody's back, and I think it's going to be...
Well, here's the thing. Do you think Jay Powell doesn't own any Bitcoin?
I think he owns lots and lots of Bitcoin.
Yes, so do I. And that's a true fact right there. That's what you need to focus on. He's telling everybody else, nah, it's like gold. It's not a thing. Don't worry. It's not, you can't pay stuff with this. And meanwhile, he's hodling as hard as anybody right now.
Exactly.
I'll bet you money. I will bet you Bitcoin on that one, my friend.
I think he is too. So I'd be on the same side of that.
So in the grand scheme of things, he's a no-coiner, but he's a false no-coiner. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to run into a lot more people like that as we go on. Mm-hmm. People who are pissing all over Bitcoin because they know... Perfect. Wait, hold on. I actually posted this in the Discord. Okay? I don't know if you... Did you see this? Did you see what I posted in Discord? No, this is a perfect example.
Where'd you post it?
All right. It's an hot no-coiner takes. Okay? And it's literally just like half a scroll up. All right. So Peter Schiff, everybody that has listened to this at all and listened to our podcast even one time knows that Peter Schiff, okay, not a fan of Bitcoin, right? He's on record several times all over the place saying he hates Bitcoin. It's not a good thing. He's selling gold. Gold is the thing. Go gold, go silver, go money metals. Peter Schiff is selling, he has a company that sells gold and sells silver, okay? But if you go to his website and you scroll down just a little bit, guess what you can buy gold and silver with on his website? Bitcoin. There's a nice big button right there that you can click on, and it literally, hold on, let me open the original just to make sure I read it correctly. It says, Bitcoin accepted here, okay? Peter Schiff has made a name for himself selling gold and silver and pissing all over Bitcoin. But his company, selling gold and silver, accepts Bitcoin for gold and silver. That tells you everything you need to know, honestly. Yeah.
I do think he defended himself by saying he just uses BitPay, which is like a program. It's sort of like Visa, but it runs through the Bitcoin network, and it still accepts. It just uses U.S. dollars or stable coins or whatever. But that was before, because this one is actually a Bitcoin accepted here button. So maybe we should try clicking on this and see if it works. Yeah.
Oh, maybe. But the point is,
BitPay.
all these people have a paradigm. That's my point. Is people like Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey, if you're not familiar with him, he's a guy that teaches you to basically save your way to wealth, kind of a thing. I followed Dave Ramsey for a long time. I like Dave Ramsey, but he's one of those guys where you start to see he has an agenda. He has a certain level of investment in what he has always done, and Bitcoin disrupts that. Okay, Jay Powell, what's his name? Oh man, I just lost my train of thought. Schiff. Okay, so Schiff, okay. Jay Powell, Dave Ramsey, all these guys, they have a shtick. They have a certain thing that they have been pitching for years, and Bitcoin disrupts it. And you have to understand. You have to understand why Bitcoin is valuable for yourself, is my point. And as long as you understand that, then when all these people start to either pitch it for some reason or not, or to kind of crap all over it, you start to understand why they're doing it, because you start to see there's a legacy that they have for being into gold, or being into the dollar, or being into, saving and investing, and work hard, save a lot, you'll be fine, right? Mm-hmm. And if those are the people that they are, Bitcoin disrupts all of those things. And once you start seeing it for what it is, you start to understand why people have the take that they have. And that's my point with Jay Powell, is his whole career is based on the idea of the fiat dollar. And he can't come along and go, you know what, everyone should really buy Bitcoin, because that literally undermines everything he's ever stood for in terms of his career. He has to be so assuming you're right and he actually understands Bitcoin, he's still going to downplay it, because he knows what's coming. He knows where the dollar's going. He knows it's garbage, and he's gonna play it to the nth degree, because that's what signs his paychecks right now. That's what it is. So, long story short, I'm calling him a no-coiner, because we're going to run into fewer and fewer no-coiners as we go along here.
That's true.
He's a no-coiner, and he just got dunked on.
Nice. Get dunked on, Jay Powell. You stand no chance.
Get dunked on, Jay Powell.
Nice. All right. And with that, I think we'll call it a show, man. Thanks for chatting with me.
Thanks for chatting with me. This was like one of the more real shows, dude. I feel good about this.
Good. Let us know if you enjoyed this show. We kind of just chatted. I kind of like just chatting sometimes. So we appreciate you listening, and we hope to see your ears in our mouths. How does listening work? Next week again.
What did you just say? Hear your ears in our mouths? See your ears in our mouths?
That's right, yeah. Because my mouth is what makes noise, and then
apparently
it goes into
ears and mouths work differently in Canada. That's fine. That's cool.
It's simple science.
Yeah, okay. All right. It's the metric system, guys. It's the metric system. You wouldn't understand.
Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody. Bye.